So here I'm going to show you how to record PayPal and Square sort of electronic payments into a Wave account. Wave is a free online accounting software, and with free comes a few little limitations and some tricks. So I'm just going to show you very quickly one way of doing this. So first of all, what you're going to do is you're going to create a clearing account for each of your electronic payment sources. So here we have PayPal and Square, and I've created them as a cash account, but it doesn't entirely matter. Most of the money that I'm going to be demonstrating is money coming in, so that's why I'm calling it a cash account. If you were using these accounts as a way to pay other folks, you might want to create them as a liability account. But the object of these accounts is basically to have a zero balance at the end of the month. So during the month, we're going to collect the money into these clearing accounts. And at the end of the month, we're going to do a journal entry transaction to move that money out into the different expenses. Because when we get the money, often it will come with fees taken out of it. So we'll demonstrate how to show those two different things. Next, what you're going to want to do is download that information from your different sources. So I just have a template here of a download from PayPal. So there's usually a lot more information filled out, but I've just highlighted some of the fields that are pertinent to what we have. So I just have 4 little transactions. We have 1 expense and 3 income transactions. We can see the fee and then the net amount that comes to us in our bank account. From Square, they also have a template, lots more columns. But again, I'm going to highlight the sales, a tip if you have tips, and the total amount that is collected. And then they also have a separate column for fees way over here, so that your net total is, again, what comes into your bank account. If you deal with sales tax or gift cards, refunds, that sort of thing, you may have additional entries that you need to make. So if I go back to my Wave account in my transactions, this money is all coming into my checking account. And you can see I did one already, but they will come in as a transfer and it'll come to the uncategorized income or uncategorized expense if it is an expense item. So Square is the one that came in, and I'm going to categorize this as a transfer to my Square clearing account. When I do that, it creates another little entry. This is the offset to go into the Square clearing account. Don't worry about that, that's fine. It just shows it came in here and into there. For PayPal, we'll do the same, transfer into your PayPal clearing. And for this last one, we'll transfer into our PayPal clearing account. So now I have all of my action items are checked off. Everything has been cleared and reviewed. So I can always double click on or single click on these and check them off in green to say, yes, I've seen it, I reviewed it, I know what it is, I've categorized it correctly. When I go to balance my checking account and do my reconciliation, which you should do every month, it will make it also a lot faster. So now I have all these things, and my total accounts, if this is the only thing that happened, you'll see that my checking account had the money coming in and the offset is into our clearing accounts. So now it's the end of the month and I want to clear out those accounts and put that money into the appropriate revenue and expense categories. So you can see that the PayPal balance that came in was $329.50. So let's go back to our spreadsheet for PayPal. Then if you see the net amount, you add that up, you'll see it adds up to $329.50. Exactly. So our journal entry that we're going to do, and you can type this out first just to make sure that everything balances, is to debit that $329. Then we're going to go through our transactions and make sure that we don't have anything unusual. So this one, we do have 1 expense and 3 income items. So our 1 expense, we're going to put it, actually I'm going to put this opposite-wise. Okay, so I'm going to debit my expense for $10. Now my 3 income items, I have 1 that's a rental customer and 2 that are just regular customers. So I want my rental income separate from my other types of income. So that rental income will be a credit for the full $150, not for the $145.50, but for the full $150. And then my other sales items, these 2 $100 items are $200, and that will also be in my sales revenue as a credit for $200 full dollars. Now, if I only had those items in, you will see that my balances don't match. They have to match, or we cannot post this item. So my bank fees are the difference, right? Is $10.50. So now my totals match, my debits equal my credits, and I can create this entry over in Wave. So I'm going to go back to my account, and I'm going to do more. I'm going to add a journal transaction. So this is the month of August, and it's going to be August 31st, end of the month. My description is to clear PayPal account. Okay. And my first item is PayPal balance. My account number is the PayPal clearing. So if you remember from our journal entry, we had a debit $329.50. Okay. My next item was my Amazon. So that is going to go to office supplies, and that is a debit of $10. I'm going to add a line. My next was my rental income. And this description is just for you, so you know, maybe you know who that rental person is and you can do it there. And here's a credit for $150. I'm going to add a line for my sales revenue. It's $200. You can see that over here, it always tells me where I'm off balance. So my final item is going to be, I'm just putting it to bank charges and fees. You can also create expense accounts for your PayPal fees, your Square fees, if you want to track that information separately. So that's $10.50. And you can see that my difference is now 0, which is the object of this. So we're going to save that. Okay, and it did add another journal entry, totally fine. We're going to do one more journal entry for our Square account. So I'm going to clear the Square. Put this as the last day of the month because that's when we're going to do it. And here we're going to have our Square clearing. We'll go back to our Square page. We did the same thing. So our Square clearing had a balance previously of $243. So the net amount is the sum over here is $243.30. We're going to credit. Everything that came in here was just a regular sale item. It was just a regular revenue. So it's $250 in sales. This is very basic. And then $6.70 in fees. Worry about the positive or negative. It's just $6.50. So that our totals for each debits and credits are $250. Okay. If we go back to our Square clearing, we have $243 in, oops, what was that? 30 cents, excuse me. We have our sales revenue of $250 as a credit. We add a line. Oops. Go. Add a line for fees. We can call this Square. So we know what it is. And that is $6.70. And you can see that we now balance to 0. And we're going to save that. So again, we have that entry. We can check it off as yes and yes. And now, if you want to double check to make sure that everything's 0, you can go up here to your all accounts. That didn't work, right? You go to your report. Let's go to our reports. So we'll go to our account balances. And we're going to go as of, it's as of August 31st. We're not August 31st, so we're going to update the report. Apologies. Update the report. And now you can see that your debits and your credits and your ending balance are 0. You still have the money in your checking account, which is exactly where it needs to be. And your money has come in and out of your PayPal clearing and your Square clearing. So if you want to look at what happened in that PayPal clearing account, you can see, so we're a cash basis, which is totally fine. Either way, it's gonna look the same. You can see all of our transfers that came in, and then our final PayPal balance, our journal entry that came out to zero out the account. So hopefully that is helpful to those of you who use PayPal and Square and Venmo and places like that. And you can easily identify those items at the end of the month so that they are categorized correctly on your financial statements.